well. We're ready to proceed now as the state has rested their case. And now, defense, your first witness.
Your Honor, we're going to call Lieutenant Paul Almer.
Sir, please step forward. Swear you can. Thank you.
Do you swear affirm testimony about the truth, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Take a seat.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
May I proceed, Judge?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant, yesterday when you were here, we talked about some issues regarding tides and such. Since the time we spoke, you did some additional research?
I did.
Okay, great. And you created some visuals for us today?
Yes.
And you put them on a thumb drive this morning?
Yes.
And I marked it as for ID Defense Exhibit A14 and seek its admission at this time.
No objection, Judge.
Without objection.
A14 marked for identification, defense exhibit L.
So this is now Defense Exhibit L. Now I'd like to, thank you. So Lieutenant, yesterday we were talking about the area where the incident occurred, and this is State's Exhibit number 2. We'll just use my finger for the moment. You see that near Cutter Bank Channel there is Totten Key?
Yes.
Sorry, Jim.
Yes, it is.
And you see that that's on the east side of Cutter Bank.
Yes.
And on the west side of Cutter Bank, there's an area called East Arsenicer,
Yes.
correct? And overnight or this morning, did you take tide readings from those two locations and put them on the thumb drive for us?
Excuse me. I got the tide data from the NOAA tide charts.
Okay, so if you would tell the jury, what is NOAA and how do you spell that?
NOAA, N-O-A-A, it's National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They make all these charts and they provide weather and tide and wind forecast.
And you consider that a reliable source for tidal information?
It's a basic standard in navigation, yes.
Okay. And you were able to read from the information available from NOAA when was high tide at Totten Key on September 4, 2022, and when was high tide at East Arsenicer on that same date?
Yes.
Okay. So I would ask that we publish at this time your exhibits for that purpose.
Let's start with high on September 4th, 2022, last one.
Okay. And you have it in your computer, you want to rely on this just the same? Then maybe you can have a seat here with us. Okay. And so September 4, 2022, oh, and I have a pointer today. I think. Does this show that on Sunday, September 4, at 2022, that the reading at Totten Key for high tide was at 6:19 p.m.?
Yes.
And the collision occurred at 6:37 p.m.
Was it 6:30? Yes. So it's about 20 minutes later.
So just shy of 20 minutes after the high tide at Totten Key.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's look at East Arsenicer. Yes, please.
East-Star Seneca for September 4, 2022. Where do we see the high tide time for that?
You can see this is the high point right here, 1.09 feet above the mean, and so it's a little bit after 6.
Do you remember that it's precisely, and if you have to check your information, that the reading was at 6:38 p.m.?
Sounds about right.
Okay, so to be clear, at Totten Key, 6:19 p.m. is high tide. Let's go back to that previous one. See where we
That's
are.
the date of the reconstruction.
Those are the last ones. Keep going back. And what does this mean, plus 1.39?
So there's a mean water level, and then plus 1.39 is 1.39, so 1 1/3 foot, about 18 inches above the mean, and so and it's just barely going below the mean at low tide that day.
Okay. And so at 6:19 p.m. on the day of the incident, high tide at Totten Key was 6:19 p.m.
Yes.
And if we go to the next chart, at East-Star Seneca, which is also on the map, that high tide event occurred at 6:38 p.m., 1.09 feet above the mean.
Yes.
Now, the incident occurred basically in between East-Star Seneca and Totten Key.
Yes.
Right? Incident is right around here,
Yep.
and there's East-Star Seneca,
Yes.
there's Totten Key, as they can see on State's Exhibit number 2. Right. Thank you. Now, let's take a look at the date of the recreation of the by Lieutenant Thompson, and you were on that boat as well. High tide on June 9 of 2025 at Totten Key was 10:12 a.m.
Yes.
and it was at 1.12 feet.
Yes.
Okay. So on the day of the recreation, high tide didn't get quite as high as it did on the day of the elision, correct?
Yeah, within a few inches, yes.
Okay. Instead of 1.39, it's only 1.12.
So it would have been 14 inches instead of 18 inches.
Fair enough. And for this one, we just did Totten Key for comparison purposes. Now, when you and Lieutenant Thompson were doing the recreation, that was sometime before 9 a.m.?
The first pictures that I took, there's a picture of the channel marker with the buoy was just after 9, and then we did construct the runs through afterwards, but it took a little bit of time because we had to get the drone going. There were a lot of moving parts that day.
Got it.
So it was pretty close to high tide by the time.
Got it.
Okay, so that deals with the tide issue. Now, when you had done your report, you had recorded on your report that high tide on the day of the incident was 10:29 p.m.
Yes.
And that's 4 hours later than we are revealing today.
Yes.
And could that have been because it was on Greenwich time instead of Eastern Daylight Time, or do you know why that happened?
It could have been a different tide station. I mean, the tide fluctuates. The tide is hours different between North Biscayne Bay and South Biscayne Bay, east and west. It could have been a number of factors. I don't remember which source that I used to grab that time.
And do you know what source Lieutenant Thompson was using to determine tide when he testified?
No.
Okay. Okay, so that's the tide issue. Now, I also asked, and you were good enough to do another demonstrative showing at what point along the path of the Robalo that if the operator was looking down the channel at a moment in time, marker 13A would obscure marker 15.
Yes.
And you were able to do a study of that, yes?
Yes.
And if we can just put that on the screen. That's why I invited you to sit if you'd like, so you don't have to get up and down. It's up to you.
I need the exercise.
Hang second?
That's the second one. Yeah, that's 13.
Okay, hold on. Go to the next one. There we go. Okay, so what you did in this exercise is you plotted, got it, Carlos? Great. You basically plotted a line between marker 15, 13A, and C. Where would that intersect along the path of the Robalo? In what this exercise revealed was that at timestamp 6:36:54 p.m., the Robalo was on its path, and had the operator looked down the channel, 13A would have obscured 15.
Yes.
Okay. And to remind everyone, the elision occurred at 6:37:28.
Yes.
So that would be roughly 34 seconds before impact?
Give or take, yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you for that. Well, before you get up 1 second.
Sure.
There was also another point in time where marker 13 might have obscured marker 15 in the distance, correct? Let's show that one for the jury. No? Okay. Okay. And so, at this moment in time, 6:35:26. If you draw a straight line from where the Robalo was through marker 13 to 15, at that moment in time, marker 13 would have obscured 15.
Yes.
But that's a way distance back.
To give you some reference, this is the second to last track point here, so this distance was 622 right here. So you can see this is over a mile and a half.
Okay. And time-wise, this occurred at 6:35:26 p.m. The elision was at 6:37:28. Right? So that's roughly a couple of minutes before impact. Okay, thank you for that. Are there any other exhibits on this before we make the witness sit? The sun. Okay. You also did a study of the sun, right?
Yep.
Tell us what you found out about that.
So I found out that NOAA has a tool that you can calculate the angle of the sun from a particular place on the face of the earth on a particular day. So I took that data and roughly plotted it to have an idea. So this is the southbound track of the Robalo. This is 8 and 9. This is, I think this is pretty close to 9 or 10 and 11 right here, so kind of midway through the channel. And this line here represents the bearing that the sun would have been to the boat as it's heading south in the channel. And then the elevation, so with this, if I'm looking forward on the boat, the sun is on my right side, and then the angle of elevation is just shy of 6 degrees above the visible horizon. So the sun is on its way down.
Okay. Now, actually the boat is, although we call it a southbound channel, the boat is actually traveling southwest, right?
Yeah, if you look at the little icon up here, you can see north is up. So this would be kind of a little bit northeast to southwest.
So if the boat was traveling southbound, it would have been like my pen is right now, right?
Correct, yes.
So the boat was traveling, this would be directly west this way. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
And so the sun was off the operator's right shoulder, so to speak.
Yes.
So if the operator is driving down and looks to the right, that the sun is off his right shoulder.
Yes.
And how high off the horizon would that be?
Low.
So
6 degrees. If you think about 0, 90, it's 6. So it's sun's low on the horizon.
okay. Got it. Thank you for that. In terms of the display, I think we're done. A few questions, and I think we'll be through. There were a couple observations that you made that I wanted to ask you briefly about. The Robalo had twin 300 horsepower engines, right?
Yes.
For a total of 600 horsepower.
Yes.
The Robalo is built and the manufacturer rates it for 700 horsepower, right?
Yes.
So someone could choose to equip the Robalo with larger engines than this Robalo was equipped with.
Yes.
100 horsepower more.
Yes.
And is Robalo a boat that's been a reputable boat for decades?
It depends on your. It's a decent boat.
It's been around for a long time?
It's been a long. It's one of the many boats where it started as a local manufacturer. I think here in Miami, built a quality boat that's been absorbed by a huge conglomerate and is built, mass produced. I think in Mississippi or Alabama, somewhere up there, they build a lot of boats.
Okay. You discussed the lookout rule. Question, is it, the lookout rule allows one person to operate a boat with no one else on the boat?
Yes.
Okay. And we see police officers operating solo from time to time?
I did many years.
Okay. The prosecutor asked you yesterday about passing on the right. Did you say stay to the right? I think you said is like on a highway or on a road.
Yes.
In Cutter Bank Channel, it is permitted, is it not, for the operator of a boat to navigate outside of the channel if there's enough water depth?
It's not against any of the rules to operate outside of the channel. No.
Okay. The channel is meant for boats that for sure need that depth of water, a large boat with a big keel, right?
Yes, I mean, a prudent operator would choose to operate in the channel, given the choice between a known maintained waterway and a shallow bank. A prudent operator would typically stay in the channel.
In this Cutter Bank Channel, there's enough water given the draft of the Robalo for the Robalo to operate outside of the channel.
In some areas.
And when an operator is in the channel, the operator can exit the channel at any point in time, provided there's no risk of a collision.
Yes.
And the operator can go to the left of the marker or the right of the marker, provided there's no risk of collision with another vessel.
I'm going to need a little bit more than that. Like, can you be a little more specific?
Yeah, someone's going down the channel southbound and wants to just sort of head into the flats. If there's no oncoming traffic, the operator can make a left turn and head into the flats and
Yes.
go that way.
Yes.
Personal flotation devices, PFDs, life preservers, life savers, there's no requirement that they be worn by the passengers of a boat of the size of the Robalo while it's underway, correct?
Correct.
The so-called kill switch, there's no requirement that a boat of that size have a kill switch, correct?
No, there's not.
No requirement.
No.
Flares. There's flares on there labeled sometimes expire.
Yes.
Okay. And flares that are expired can still work, although they may not be acceptable under some regulation,
They might still work.
if they're kept in the right condition.
A lot of people misunderstand the rules, though. All the safety gear that's kept on the boat has to be in a serviceable condition, so having unserviceable flares is technically a violation. Do I write tickets for that? No, but I would tell people you need to get rid of those, and it's not easy to get rid of them because it's a hazardous material, but all the equipment on your boat, the safety equipment, should be in serviceable condition.
And do you know whether the flares on the Robalo were in serviceable condition?
No.
You just don't know.
No.
One moment. Cutter Bank Channel in 2022 had no posted speed limit, correct?
It doesn't have a speed limit the way we think about speed limits on the road, no.
Okay. There are channels that do have posted speed limits, correct?
They're the exception, not the norm.
Coming into a marina, for example, might have a sign that says no wake,
It does, yes.
and that means the boat shouldn't generate any waves or wake, right?
Correct.
Some channels, including the intercoastal, have speed limitations, like Malloy Channel in Miami Beach, right?
They do.
Could be a 30-mile-per-hour speed limit in Malloy Channel right here in Miami Beach.
Correct. Again, though, that's the exception, not the norm.
And those speed limits change season to season in some instances, right?
Yes.
Malloy Channel here in Miami Beach has a speed limit at some times of the year that's 30 miles per hour, or 35, whatever it might be. Other times of the year, there's no posted speed limit, right?
Objection leading.
Oh, you did. So probably sustain.
Okay. Do speed limits within the same channel sometimes change during the time of year?
Yes.
Okay. Cutter Bank had no speed limits posted at all, correct?
There's speed limits everywhere, just not the way that we associate speed limits on the road.
No posted sign saying speed limit at Cutter Bank Channel back in 2022, correct?
There's not a numerical speed. There's not a numerical speed limit for Cutter Bank Channel.
Neither then nor now.
Correct.
Thank you. That's all I have, Judge.
Hello again.
Hello.
Let's talk about that Robalo.
Okay.
It's not a Grady White, is it?
It's not a Grady White. It's not a CV. It's not a
For
contender.
jurors who may not know,
Okay.
isn't it true that Grady White is considered one of the best kind of recreational vessels that people can have?
I mean, they have Grady White has a good reputation, yes.
Now that Robalo vessel, which is the subject of this case, even if it's capable of going, say, 54, 55 miles per hour with twin 300 horsepower engines, on the day in question, September 4th of 2022, that vessel was not in the condition like it would be for testing for specifications, was it?
It was not. It was not.
It had a lot more people on it than it would have for testing for the specifications.
Yes,
And those extra people added a lot of extra weight to the vessel, correct?
it did.
And that extra weight caused the bow of the boat to be further down in the water, didn't it?
Yes,
And as a result, that vessel would not have been able to go as fast as what was done when it was tested for the specifications.
correct.
And as a consequence, when we see the speed of that vessel traveling between 43 and 47 miles an hour, that's indicative to you, given the amount of weight on that vessel, that the defendant was operating at full throttle through that channel, right?
So 43, he was probably at the higher ends of the boat's capability with that weight load. At 47, he was, and 47 is an estimate. It could have been 45, but it also could have been 50. It's in my opinion, it's wide open throttle, or very close to wide open throttle. And I back up a little bit. You asked about capability. You should not. Capability has nothing to do with safety or reason. Capable doesn't correlate with safe or reasonable.
Gotcha. Speaking of safe and reasonable, you were asked questions about speed limits.
Yes.
Through Cutter Bank Channel.
Yes.
Now, in point of fact, every operator of a vessel in the state of Florida has to obey a speed limit that's set forth in Navigational Rule 6, don't they?
6 and 2, yes.
So let's talk for a minute about Navigational Rule 6.
Okay.
What does that require every operator of a vessel in the waters of Florida to do?
It requires them to operate at a speed that's under the conditions the operator is able to see and identify the risk of a potential collision and still have time, given that speed, to react and avoid the collision.
Given what we've seen from the GPS data that came from the defendant's vessel, he was not operating at a speed that allowed him to avoid the channel marker, was he?
Objection.
Rephrase, sustain.
We've seen the GPS data from the defendant's vessel. Was he able to avoid the channel marker?
No.
He hit it, right?
He did,
And he hit it at almost 50 miles an hour,
yes,
if not maybe even at 50 miles an hour.
yes,
And he had it with a bunch of teenagers on his vessel, correct?
yes.
Is that something like having a bunch of kids in the back of a pickup truck and taking them out for a ride through the open fields? Were they secured?
I'm sorry?
Were those teenagers secured?
There are no seatbelts or any other really restraint devices on a boat. In fact, people can move around, shift around inside of a boat.
Now, in terms of the tides that you were looking at, what would be the maximum difference in the water height on that channel marker between the date of the crash and the time of the crash on September the 4th, 2022, and the date and the time when that crash reconstruction was done in June of last year?
A few inches.
Is there any reason to think that the tides obscured anyone's view of channel marker 15 on September the 4th of 2022?
None at all.
Now, you also did a calculation about where the sun would have been in relation to the defendant as he's traversing through that channel.
Yes.
Is there any way that the sun blocked his view or caused glare that would keep him from being able to see channel marker 15?
Seems pretty unlikely.
Is it your opinion that the sun in any way contributed to this crash?
No.
You also were asked about whether or not channel marker 13A, the one before 15, would block the view of channel marker 15 from where the defendant's track was.
Yes.
Did channel marker 13 block the view of channel marker 15?
No, it didn't.
And can you explain to the members of the jury, you talked about how far away
Yes.
the defendant's vessel would have had to be for channel marker 13A to block channel marker 15.
Sure.
From that distance, even if channel marker 13 was not there, would channel marker 15 be visible to an operator of a vessel?
When we were out there that day, channel marker 15 was coming into view as we were passing between markers 12 and 13. And that straight line from 15 through 13 up to the track line where it intersects with the boat's course was several hundred feet north of 12 and 13. So it doesn't seem to me that even if the two had a line, you wouldn't be able to see 15, because even if you could see it, it would have been so small, it would have been behind the marker.
So 13A didn't really ever block the view of channel marker 15, because from the distance where they would align, you'd be so far away, you wouldn't see channel marker 15 anyway.
Objection. I think the
Okay.
prosecutor is confusing 13A with 13.
Okay, start again.
Channel marker 13A.
Yes.
That channel marker does not block the view of channel marker 15 except from a distance where you couldn't see channel marker 15 anyway.
Correct. Where the boat was that day, that's correct, yes.
Now, yesterday, Mr. Srebnick said, hi, I've not met you before, right?
Yes.
And you haven't met Mr. Srebnick before yesterday, right?
I have not.
But you didn't mind doing some extra homework for him, did you? Okay. Did you charge him for this work?
No.
You charging the state attorney's office for that extra homework?
No.
But this wasn't the first time you ever spoke with a member of the defense team, right?
Correct.
In fact, you spoke with Mr. Shapiro, Mr. Srebnick's partner, previously, right?
Yes.
And that actually was on Tuesday, January the 6th, 2026, right?
I'll take your word for it.
I'll tell you what,
Yes.
with looking at this refresh your recollection.
Sure. It looks like January 6th, 2026.
And how long, when did that deposition start and when did it end?
It started at 1:38 p.m. and ended at 5:20 p.m.
So a couple hours.
It was couples 2. My math is 4.
Okay. Nothing else.
Who's counting?
Okay, redirect.
Yes, please. So I want to make sure that we're talking marker to marker here.
Yes.
At one point, the prosecutor was talking about marker 13,
Yes.
then 13A. Those
Yes.
are two very different markers.
They are. I mean, yes. Yes,
Okay,
they are.
So let's be clear with the
Okay.
jury, okay? Because, Carlos, can we have it? So, Carlos, if you could read, thumb drive.
The first one, not today's.
Nancy? No, I need today's.
Today's?
And yesterday's. Okay. Take a second. Okay. While he's rebooting the computer, let's talk about the view of the pilot, of the operator of the vessel.
Yes.
So, prosecutor was asking about obscure view from the operator's point of view, right?
Yes.
Okay. We talked yesterday about passengers seated in the bow,
Yes.
and I'll use the phrase with their butts on the cushion, right? There would be torsos and heads above the gunnel line,
Yes.
and if they're waving their hands,
Yes.
that combination, in your perspective, would obscure the view of the operator, right?
And it would have been his responsibility to recognize that problem and address it immediately because it's causing safety problems.
Fair enough.
Yes.
But to be clear, it is your view, as you testified in that deposition,
Yes.
that the passengers seated were on the cushions, designated seating by Robalo, simply waving their hands
Yes.
would obscure the view of the marker.
Yes.
And it might mean that the operator of the vessel wouldn't see the marker when that's going on.
Yeah. Yes. That's his responsibility.
And your view is, if you said it 3 times now,
Yes.
it would have been his responsibility to have the girls stop putting their hands up, right?
Yes. You also used the term designated seating. Again, I'm going to refer back to what I said before. Just capability doesn't mean that it's safe, and it's not always safe to be seated in that spot.
Okay. And by the way, if the boat had not alighted with the marker, okay,
Yes.
there'd be no suggestion, nobody would have been injured, correct?
Not given the circumstances that we've had.
This was
right
a
now.
calm day,
Yes.
right? The
Is
sea,
objection leading?
you're right. Describe for the jury the conditions of the day.
So the prevailing circumstances was that the day was a light chop.
Okay.
Yes.
There was still an hour's worth of sunlight.
Yes.
Okay. And this Robalo, it may not be a Grady White,
Yep.
but this Robalo is rated to have even more horsepower than it did.
It is.
Objection leading?
Yeah, Janet's a lead.
Okay. Are you able to get that up? Okay, let's do it. Now, let's just do marker 13A. Second one. There you go.
Exhibit.
We're in exhibit L. Okay. We talked earlier that where 13A obscures 15 is at 6:36:54 p.m.
Yes.
Are you telling the jury that marker 15 was not visible at that time, or it was?
So when I was out there, naked eye, when I was passing between 12 and 13, 15 is just starting to come into view.
So your testimony now is that this is roughly 34 seconds to
Yes.
impact?
Yes.
That at 34 seconds to impact, your recollection is that marker 15 is barely even visible?
Objection leading?
Yeah, don't,
Is
let the
it-
witness testify.
Point blank, is it visible or not with 34 seconds to go?
At 34 seconds up here traveling 43 miles an hour, it was not, it was It's not visible here. It's just coming into view as you cross between 12 and 13. You can see it pretty clearly up here. You can see it very clearly here.
Okay. Yesterday, we showed the jury exhibit, I think it's G.
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to put it up, enlarge it. Okay. We see 13.
Yep.
We see 13A.
Yep.
We see 14 and 15 in the distance. Right?
Yes.
Are you saying this was not visible on the day of the impact?
Objection leading.
I'm asking, was it or wasn't it visible, 15, on the day of the impact?
I don't know where that picture, what perspective that picture was taken from, or what zoom rating it was on the camera. I'm telling you from naked eye, when I was running the boat, I'm sorry, when Lieutenant Thompson was running the boat through the markers here, when we were at 12 and, not 13, 15. This is much closer.
Okay.
This is much closer.
Right.
This is on the approach to 13.
Let's go to the next one. Go to the next one.
Again, it's coming into view here. You can see just a little bit of green marker right there.
Okay. True or
And
false?
This is closer, and I don't know how far you have your lens zoomed in, but this is closer than where the intersection of the lines are.
Okay. So I'm just trying to understand from your perspective, with 34 seconds to go to impact, was marker 15 visible to the operator?
It's coming into view. It would be coming into view if it was in front.
And at 34 seconds to go, if it's coming into view, it's still being obscured by marker 13A, correct?
Objection leading.
His leading counsel.
Was it being obscured by 13A?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'll rephrase. Did the exercise you did for the jury
Yes.
show to the jury that with 34 seconds to go, 13A obscures 15?
Let me see if I can. For a moment in time, as the boat's going 43 miles an hour through the channel, at an instant in time, this marker 15 is just coming into view, would have been obscured for a brief moment by 13A.
Fair enough. And so, to finish our conversation today, with 9 seconds to go, if the operator had seen the marker, that would have provided sufficient time to avoid the elision.
At
9 seconds to
9
go.
seconds? Yes.
8 seconds to go.
Yes.
7 seconds to go.
Yes.
6,
Potentially.
5,
Yes.
4.
Now he needs to make an adjustment. Under the rules, it says that you have to take early and substantial action. A
Of course,
prudent
if the-
mariner wouldn't wait 4 seconds to make a maneuver.
Okay, 3 seconds might be too late, with 3 seconds to go.
Then you're making an abrupt maneuver with a heavy load on the boat.
And so, if the operator didn't see the marker, for whatever reason, whatever distraction, the operator would have lied with the marker, right?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Long time evidence. Thank you. The witness is excused. Thank you.
Thank you.